Microsoft has done the unimaginable. While we're all busy with other news, Microsoft quietly put people on performance improvement plan, also known as PIP, and have let them go without severance. This is a note they sent to employees. They were fired the same day, asked to return Microsoft hardware, and they got a note saying that their future employment with Microsoft will be evaluated based on their past performance. This means if they were to apply to Microsoft again, they will not be eligible. These employees also got their health insurance taken away from them right away, which really sucks, especially in current job market. This is basically layoffs without severance. If you have worked in corporate, you would know that sometimes performance improvement plans are subjective and sometimes dependent on your manager. Is this the new normal that we're going to see a lot more companies do?
Microsoft layoffs go harder, termination effective immediately with no severance pay. This is insane. So Microsoft has initiated a wave of performance-based job cuts with affected employees losing their jobs effective immediately and receiving no severance packages according to termination letters sent to staff. The termination letters obtained by Business Insider state that the employees are being let go because their job performance has not met minimum performance standards and expectations. Impacted workers face immediate removal of access to Microsoft systems, accounts, and buildings. Now, in a particularly strict measure, the company is discontinuing healthcare, prescription, and dental benefits for employees on their final days of work. That's terrible. 3 terminated employees confirmed that they would not receive severance payments, underscoring the company's more stringent approach to performance management. Microsoft went on to say, "You are all relieved of job duties effective immediately." In the termination letters, employees were to return all company property, including car keys, corporate American Express cards, and any Microsoft hardware or software in their possession. The letters also warn that the future employment applications to Microsoft will be evaluated considering past performance and basis of termination.
Microsoft continues to lay off employees. They are heavily favoring AI or artificial intelligence in exchange for cheaper labor. Microsoft is one of those companies that has always paid their software engineers very good compensation, so replacing them with AI is going to be a very big cost saver on paper, but they don't understand what these employees actually do. They really make the products work, and replacing everyone with AI is a very stressful move, not only for the people who are losing their jobs, but for the existing employees as well, because there is just going to be more work, they're going to be overworked, and they have to correct the mistakes that AI is making, which is happening in a lot of cases when companies like these are replacing employees with AI because they do make mistakes. Take a look at the rest of these clips.
Unfortunately, a lot of people treat layoffs as that final indicator that they were indeed an imposter this whole time. Haha! The layoff indeed did prove that you are not worth your salt as a designer and you were therefore laid off. And that is not true. We have this trend where companies are utilizing layoffs as a way to clean up their finances and financial projections for the next year. Like, look, we have so many less expenses. Yay, we did a good job this year. Please keep investing for next year. Like, how many times do we have stories coming on TikTok of people who are like, I was the hardest worker. I always had really great performance reviews. My team actually brought a ton of money and value to the company. And then I was just like laid off, just discarded. So we keep thinking that, no, it's the people who deserve to be laid off. It's the one that got nixed. Not really. And it traumatizes people. And it leaves a lasting impact on their work, their output, how they see themselves, how they behave in the next team. They're a lot more sheepish at first because they're like, oh my God, like whatever I did to get laid off, I need to not do that again at this new company. And again, it has nothing to do with you. And I know it's really difficult to break out of that mold because in the real world, right? In college and high school, what do you get? You get grades. Are you doing a good job? Here's your GPA. It's an indicator of how well you're doing. In real world, we have to seek out different indicators of our success. We don't really have grades. I guess money is kind of an indicator. Employment is kind of an indicator. Whether you're laid off or not is an indicator, but it shouldn't be because companies took that indicator and repurposed it for their own financial well-being. Like it used to be if you're fired, it's because you suck at your job. Nowadays, it is so much more gray. The best you could do for yourself is always have a plan B, plan C, D, And I know it's really exhausting because so many of us want to find a home. We want to grow with the company, but I'm in that mindset that doesn't exist anymore. Like have a home, but maybe also like a condo.
So I just got laid off from Microsoft. This is certainly not like the kind of content I ever intended to post on here. I just made this account for like my Twitch and gaming content, but I figured I'd talk about it because I don't know what else to do right now. I literally just got an email last Wednesday saying my position was to be terminated immediately, and I was to stop doing the work that I was doing. And I think the thing that pisses me off the most about this is I moved across the country for this job, right? I moved literally from the east coast of the US to the west coast, a 45-hour drive. I left like friends and family. My wife had to leave a job that she liked and really enjoyed, and I've only worked here for 7 months. It hasn't been a full year yet. That feels like huge business oversight, right? To like say, oh, we need the budget for this person, we have the budget to hire this person, and then 7 months later be like, oh, we can't afford them anymore, it's too much money. And I still get like 2 to 3 months of severance pay, so that's nice at least. And I was told it wasn't performance based, but like I had special clearance access on my team, so I'm the only person that could do like some of the work I was working on. And you know, I was told it was like high priority. I guess nobody can do that work now. There's a deadline coming up in like 2 months, but like how, like there was no reasoning behind it. And even like my boss was fired, and I talked to like my boss's boss. He doesn't have a reason for why I was like there's no reasoning. Nobody knows. It's crazy. And I've only worked here for 7 months. Why the fuck did they hire me in the first place? I mean, I guess I just start looking for other jobs now. And maybe try to continue with the Twitch stuff or whatever, see how that goes. But just kind of like venting a bit, I guess. I don't know, I'm just kind of pissed off that this job made me move across the country and they only kept me around for 7 months. I don't know, it feels a little messed up.
So yesterday I was informed that at the end of the month my role is being eliminated, so I'm being laid off. But they're going to open up a few new roles that like I could try and apply for and try and jump into. So I might look into that, or else I might look into a different part of the company or something like that. But honestly, I think I'm just going to let my content creation career take off finally. You know, I've been holding it back, so I'm just going to finally get out there and just, you know, become rich and successful on here. According to TikTok, I made like 75 cents recently, so just multiply that by like 100,000 and I'll be set.
We've made the tough decision to cut about 7,000 jobs. Wait, what? You just made 25.8 billion in profit. Yes, but we're making organizational changes. You mean layoffs. We're streamlining. Too many managers, too many layers. So not performance-based? No, just trimming to stay competitive. Amazon, CrowdStrike, everyone's doing a corporate detox. Oh, so if they jump off a cliff, we'd optimize the jump with AI. But sorry, you're not the growth story. You're the expense line.
Well, not much of a surprise. And I told you guys a couple days ago that I thought the start of the AI purge in big corporate was starting. And I think it has. Microsoft kicked it off today in style, Microsoft style, right? Announcing layoffs of over 9,000 people. Couple that with, I think, the 6,000 people they laid off in May. Plus, I'm sure they had some other minor layoffs in between. So they're probably closing in on 20,000 for the year. I wouldn't be surprised if they get to 25 or 30,000 layoffs by the time we get to the end of the year. The other thing I wouldn't be surprised is to see a number of these other bigger companies follow suit. It always takes one to start the process, and Microsoft did the honors this time. Fresh off their all-time high of a stock price, and it was down a little bit after announcing the layoffs, which is a change. Usually when big corporate announces layoffs, we see stock prices go up. So don't think it's going to slow down. And again, like I said, if we're at 20,000+ for Microsoft.
Nothing gives me more of a sense of impending doom than LinkedIn. So a corporation in OKC recently laid off over 500 employees to replace their work functions with AI. And this company is known for doing these mass layoffs like a few times a year, it seems like. So here is their most recent post that they have paid to promote. We love two things at blank: perfect payroll and friendly competition. That makes National Payroll Week the perfect week for us. Our corporate offices celebrated our values and commitment to perfect payroll. Oh gosh, I'm dying reading this. I'm dying inside reading it. Throughout the week with fun activities. Someone tell me what those fun activities were. On the last day, we took the blank pond for canoe races, a good reminder of our company's winning spirit. But then the comments, you guys, oh my gosh. Okay, first one. Sounds like an awesome way to celebrate both teamwork and excellence. But this last one is what really just like the nail in the coffin for me. I don't think I will recover. I love blank's post, the company name. It really displays the environment there, and that I can really appreciate. Keep up the great work.
Microsoft has now canceled the Xbox games after it's laid off more than 15,000 people in the last 2 months. Now, in May, they laid off 6,000 people. And just yesterday here at the start of July, they laid off another 9,000. Now, what did these people get for some of them 10, 15 plus years of service in this? They got a 60-day paid severance. So 2 months in a job market that it traditionally takes 4 to 5 months to get a new job in after working at this employer for 10 to 15 years. And if this does not show you and tell you that you always need to be leveling up your skills, side hustling, that you need to be building your personal brand, that you need to be building your network on LinkedIn, that you need to be going to webinars and conferences in order to make connections in your industry, so that if one company starts to act stupid, you can bounce over to another company that has its stuff together. Now, Microsoft has about 220,000 employees, so this isn't a huge blip on their radar to lay off 15,000 people. And they'll say it was to cut middle management, and they'll say it was because they're going to use AI. But really, it's
So I was one of the 10,000 people to get laid off by Microsoft today. Although I am kind of anxious and stressed out, I think this is a much needed break that I needed. I was feeling really burnt out after this past year. Even though we had like a holiday break, I still didn't feel rested after the break and just felt still extremely exhausted. I am a little stressed because, I'm living in New York and it's really expensive to live here. But they have given us a pretty good severance package. I just need to make sure that I have something lined up once that package is done. I'm going to take this time to rest, recharge, maybe travel. I haven't taken a trip in a while, and just reflect on what I want next, and maybe focus some more on like making content and growing, because I feel like I've also kind of chilled out on making content, so I think I want to give that some more time as well. But yeah, fun employment, here I come.